People have been asking about yard designs and how we do things. So these are our yards. All our stock enter through this laneway. The whole property has got one laneway. All the paddocks go into that laneway and they end up into here. So we bring them in through these gates into this holding yard here. It's got a bathtub for water, some troughs and hay if we're holding anything for any period of time or overnight. Make sure they always have feed. Bring them through here into the forcing yards. We have a bugle race. All of this is just portable. We can do it, but what we have done is put a series of gates in. The concept is they call it a force race, and you just keep moving the gates up behind them. Quite often it pivots from the centre, but they wanted $6,000 for that, so I just did it with a series of things. We have our V race, which we found not very good for goats, but since we've done it up tight, we're actually drenching in here now and it's working quite well. Something above there to hang your drench off. We have lots and lots of gates, because as you find with goats, they run up and down and they don't run like sheep and they go all over the place. So we stop them here. If we want to draft them off, we can draft them into that paddock, a little holding paddock, or we can send them straight ahead, or we can open this gate and they go off through that way, or back out there, through that gate into those yards. So we quite often send them either straight ahead or to the right. Then they come through here. We can put a footbath in here if necessary. At the moment we've got the crush. I put it on wheels to make it a lot easier. So we'll either have the crush here, have the scales. We've got two different lots of scales. We can have our Thompson Longhorn calf cradle, which we use for feet trimming. We're getting more concrete put down. We found the concrete really good. It's particularly with all this equipment, it's too heavy to pick up. So we put it on wheels or drag it, but we need to get it out of the way when we're not using it. So we're concreting that side and this side over here. And then we let them out, either straight into the paddock, open this gate, they can go into there, into that holding yard, back through that gate over there, and back out in the lane, and they're back down to the laneway, and then they go off to their paddock. We're getting some more panels in the next week or so, and we'll put in more holding yards out here, another 2 holding yards. The other advantage of the concrete is if you footbath them, you can then leave them on the concrete to dry rather than gets washed off immediately they go on the grass. So we found it works much better if it gets a chance to soak into the skin. Our crush is an off-sider meat handler crush. Really good for doing work on goats. Can't drench them in it, their horns get caught up. We have Aussie white sheep as well, you can do them in there as well. Very, very strong. And you can open the back up as well for any procedures you want. We had a Aussie white ewe with a prolapse uterus, and the vet thought it was fantastic. He just worked there. She was in the head bale. You could open up either side. We don't foot trim in here, but the problem you find is if you're doing anything with their back feet and they kick, you get whacked straight into the steel. So that's a disadvantage of doing them that way. The Thompson Longhorn puts them on their side. I don't know if I can do this and take a video. Goes further than that. Puts them on their side, and you can stand right here. You can stand in the middle, you can stand at the end. We actually use 2 people at the same time working their feet, one on the front, one on the back. I do the front and I can go in through here. Works really, really good. What else we got? That's about it, I think. But there our yard. Oh, the shed, obviously undercover. Just too hot in summer to do any stock work. But we find it quite bearable in any temperature, to be honest, as long as the sun's not on you. And if it starts to rain, you don't really have to worry about it. The other thing we've done is put gravel down. This was just turned into mud over winter. So we just put gravel, keeps their feet drier, but certainly worked really good, just a bit of light gravel thrown around. Anyway, that's our stockyards.